Good morning, and welcome back to Morning Strategy, where we slow down, think clearly, and lead intentionally. Grab your coffee, settle in, and take these next few minutes for yourself. This is your daily moment to pause, plan, and focus on what truly matters. Because successful days start with clarity. Morning Strategy: How to avoid reactive decision making. Today we're talking about something that affects every leader, entrepreneur, and decision maker: reactive decision making. Those choices we make quickly, emotionally, or under pressure, and then later think, why did I do that? If you've ever sent an email too fast, agreed to something you regretted, or changed direction just because something felt urgent, this episode is for you. The cost of reactive decisions. Reactive decisions usually come from three places: urgency, emotion, or outside pressure. They show up when your inbox feels overwhelming. Someone else's timeline becomes your emergency. You're tired, stressed, or mentally overloaded. Or you feel like you need to respond right now to prove something. The problem isn't that you're making decisions, it's how you're making them. Reactive decisions often pull you off your long-term strategy, create unnecessary stress, lead to overcommitment, and quietly undermine your leadership confidence. And the hardest part? They feel productive in the moment, but expensive later. The difference between fast and reactive. Let's clear something up. Fast decisions are not the same as reactive decisions. Fast decisions are informed, aligned, and intentional. Reactive decisions are emotional, rushed, and defensive. The goal isn't to slow everything down forever. The goal is to pause just long enough to think clearly. That pause, sometimes just a few minutes, is where better leadership lives. Why mornings matter for decision making. This is why mornings are so powerful. Before the day starts making demands. Before notifications pull your attention. Before emotions get involved. Your mind is clearer. Your judgment is stronger. Your ability to think long-term is at its peak. If you don't decide how you'll respond before the day begins, the day will decide for you. Morning strategy isn't about planning every detail, it's about setting your decision filter. A simple framework to avoid reactive decisions. Let me give you a simple framework you can use today. Before responding to anything that feels urgent, ask yourself 3 questions. First, is this actually urgent, or just loud? Not everything that feels immediate deserves immediate action. Some things just need acknowledgement, not resolution. Second, does this align with my priorities today? If it pulls you away from your most important work, that's a signal to pause, not push. Third, what decision would I make if I weren't stressed? This question alone can completely change your response. If you wouldn't say yes in a calm moment, don't say yes in a rushed one. Build in decision space. One of the most effective habits successful leaders use is decision space. Decision space means not responding immediately, scheduling thinking time, writing down options before choosing, giving yourself permission to say, I'll get back to you. Silence isn't avoidance. Pausing isn't weakness. It's strategy. You don't owe anyone an instant decision at the expense of your clarity. Emotional awareness is strategic. Reactive decisions often come from unrecognized emotions. Before responding, check in with yourself. Am I frustrated? Am I trying to prove something? Am I afraid of disappointing someone? Am I exhausted? You don't need to eliminate emotion, you need to recognize it. When you name the emotion, it loses control over the decision. Morning practice: the one decision rule. Here's a simple morning practice I recommend. Before your day fully begins, decide one thing in advance. One boundary you'll hold. One type of request you won't answer immediately. One decision you'll delay until you've thought it through. That one decision becomes an anchor. It protects you from reacting all day long. Leadership is response, not reaction. Strong leadership isn't about having all the answers instantly. It's about choosing responses that align with who you are and where you're going. When you stop reacting, you lead with intention. Protect your energy. Build trust with others and yourself. And make decisions you don't have to undo later. That's real momentum. As you move into your day today, remember this. You don't have to respond to everything immediately. You don't have to decide under pressure. And you don't have to sacrifice clarity for speed. Pause. Think. Then move forward with purpose. Thanks for spending part of your morning with Morning Strategy. I'll see you next time. Until then, lead intentionally.